Okay, people. I am back with the lights shining off my glasses. It's Makeda Valletta. Oh, do I have my mic on? Oops. Okay, so I'm recording in two cameras because hold on. Okay, hopefully I can be heard on both cameras. I'm recording on two cameras because usually I do my lives on Instagram and then I just re-download it I upload it to YouTube. But I'm blocked on Instagram right now from going live. So I'm live on my YouTube channel, The Body Scientist 81, and I will save. Oh, God, I have so much going on. Too many. I'm recording on another camera to repost on Instagram. So I'm looking in two different places, two different cameras. If you're on Instagram, be sure to follow me on YouTube. And if you're on YouTube, be sure to follow me on Instagram because I don't always post the same things in both pages. In case you're unfamiliar with me, my name is Makeda Valletta. I have an extensive background in exercise and sports science. I hate this light. Ugh. I don't like how this light is looking. Maybe I have to do this tomorrow because I don't like how I'm looking. I need the morning light. I'm waiting for people to come on. So anyhow, oh wait, this is so annoying. Okay, I'm gonna do this without the mic. This mic keeps going off. Let me take this out. Okay. All right. So I am Makeda Valletta. I'm live on live on YouTube, filming on another camera to repost to my Instagram. Be sure to follow me in both places because I'm always getting blocked. It's just like nonstop with me. And I'm tired. I was up all night doing schoolwork. For those of you who don't know, I'm working on completing a master's degree. I'm a science nerd, but I feel like I had to talk about this, okay? I will probably do a more in-depth video for my subscriptions on Instagram. For those who want me to go even more in-depth than I'm going to go right now, because there's a lot of things I have to say about this topic, but a lot of times I'll dig deeper into the research that's time consuming. So for those of you who want me to go more in depth than what I'm going to talk about here, then definitely join me in my subscription. So in case you're unfamiliar with me, I have a background in exercise and sports science and nutrition science. Before I got into that, I was a biotechnology major, and I had a real passion and desire to study cures for genetic diseases, okay? And cancer is a genetic disease. I have committed my life to studying all the ways we could take our body to its highest level. And I know that prevention, okay, 1 ounce of prevention is worth more than 1 pound of cure, okay? That's a fact. And so some of you may not know who Jessica Pettway is. Pettway, I didn't know who she was until a couple of days ago, when I unfortunately found out that she passed away from cervical cancer, which is really scary, okay? Because she was a mom. She had 2 little ones. And it seems that she found out she had it and she died pretty quickly, okay? Because she found out in stage 3. And there's so many things about it. There's so many things that I want to say. So I just need to hope that I can remember all the things that I want to say. Besides having a background in exercise science, sports science, biotechnology, I'm also a doula. I really study womb health. Okay, some of you who've been following my work over the years, you know that for the past 11 years, I've been studying with a woman in LA named Pakazani, where I've learned a lot about Mesoamerican womb health, okay, and really caring for the womb from her. And It's just so important because being a woman can be so confusing because we bleed every month, okay? And that's what makes a woman, okay, is the blood mysteries, all right? So that's our menstrual cycle, pregnancy and childbirth, and then menopause, okay? So, and it's important as women to really pay attention to our menstrual cycles and what our body is telling us because there's a lot. I did a video some years ago titled "What Your Menstrual Cycle Says About You." I did this video years ago, and you should check it out if you can. I'll try to post it below on YouTube. Because there's a lot of things that women can kind of gather about their health from how their menstrual cycles are. Whew, I'm like, maybe I didn't pick the right time to do this video because I'm so tired. But I'm tired. So Jessica, there are many things that ran through my mind, and let me say, may she rest in peace. Okay. When I saw who she was, and I went to her page, I see that she was a beauty influencer, and she was constantly putting on all this makeup, like piles and piles and piles of makeup. She wore the wigs, so I think she might have had a perm. I'm not sure, but the chemicals in the chemicals that are in makeup, and a lot of women use a lot of beauty products every day. They're using, like, now women are wearing drag queen makeup. So they have on piles of makeup, layers of makeup every single day. You might be perming your hair. So you have those chemicals on your scalp seeking in. You might be dyeing your hair. So that's more chemicals. A lot of women are spraying perfumes, and, there's so many women who use like 20 different products on their face. They show their nighttime routine. Like, I saw Kelly Rowland showing her nighttime routine, and she had like 20 different chemical filled products. And then, and that's not on top of the things that women may use vaginally, like the tampons, the toilet paper, the sanitary napkins, all of that. Even I did a video recently about condoms and sex toys being a source of microplastics and toxic chemicals that are also entering the vaginal canal and the woman's womb. Our skin is very absorbent, but the tissues in our vaginal canal are even more absorbent. Okay, they're super absorbent. So it's really important for women to be conscious and cautious of what we put there. Like, a lot of times we're just taught, oh, be careful of penises, but not the condoms that's, in the chemicals that's on it, or not the sex toys that women might use, or the tampons, and, all these different things that women use vaginally. And then you also have diet, right? And the vaginal microbiome. I've done several videos on the vaginal microbiome. It's super important to protect your microbiome, your gut microbiome, the vaginal microbiome, your skin microbiome. All that's a part of your immune system, and it's critical to protect it, okay? Because there are lots of studies that show that even Black women who, like, are having premature labor, a lot of that... No, sorry, somebody just called me. A lot of that is linked to... A lot of that is linked to, I'm sorry, somebody's calling my phone. What was I saying? I lost my train of thought because somebody called me. Oh, yeah. The imbalance of the vaginal microbiome. So the imbalance of bacteria, there's many studies that show that a lot of the premature labor, you have a lot of Black women who go into labor prematurely. Sometimes it's linked to the vaginal microbiome being out of balance in certain bacterial strains. Also, low vitamin D, which I've done several videos talking about vitamin D. Almost everything is linked to vitamin D. But all kinds of cancers, okay, especially aggressive ones, thrive in an environment with low vitamin D. Our immune system consists of many layers, right? And I always talk about decreasing your toxic load. Like, we live in a toxic world, so we can't avoid all the toxins, but you want to avoid as much as possible. I do wear makeup sometimes, but I've never been the type of person to wear makeup every day. And I haven't had on makeup now probably since like last May. It's March of 2024. It's almost been like a year. I think I had to make up once. Okay. And I'm going to put some makeup on soon, but it's like, it like, there's so many chemicals in it, and it worries me. And, there's times that it'll just make my eyes itch, and, I used to perm my hair growing up. I haven't had a perm in my hair in 24 years now. I've been perm free. But as a little girl, I was putting the perms in my hair. Those chemicals are going right into your body. And there's so many studies that show a link between uterine cancer, okay, and hair relaxers, all right, and the chemicals in the makeup. So if it's linked to uterine cancer, it's linked to cervical cancer, because it's the same the cervix is a part of the uterus, right? So I did a video about that recently, about condoms and microplastics and ovarian cancer. So definitely check that out, because I won't go into depth on that, but I definitely got into that. So when I look at that, I think when I deal with people with their health, when I work with people, I look at, if you're a holistic practitioner, you look at the whole person, okay, and their lifestyle, okay. It's not enough for someone to tell me, oh, I eat good. I do thorough evaluations of people when I work with them. And a lot of people don't know where the vitamin D status is. And most people, they think it's okay, and it's really, really low. I don't know her, I don't know what her diet was like. I don't know what her practices were like. It's scary because as a woman, I talked about the blood mysteries. It can be extremely confusing. Okay. Like, signs of pregnancy are also like the signs when you have a menstrual cycle. Like, the things that happens when her cycle's coming on is also the things that sometimes happens. Same things when you're pregnant and you don't even think you're pregnant. You thought it was something else. So it can be incredibly confusing and difficult. And I see a lot of people mad because they feel like her doctors missed it, because she was misdiagnosed as having fibroids. Then they found out later she had stage 3 cervical cancer. And so people are mad because they're like, oh, the doctors misdiagnosed her. But I will say that people have to cut a little slack to the doctors in diagnosing, because a lot of symptoms, it can be hard. There are a lot of symptoms that fit a lot of different things. And we can't put our health completely in the doctor's hands. Like, doctors are important for diagnosing. Okay. That's what they're important for. But when it comes to the prevention side of things, they're not. Like, prevention is not just getting screened. Prevention is, how do you have a negative test when you take a test, when you get screened, whatever you're getting screened or tested for, how do you get that test to come back negative? That is true prevention, not just going to get screened. Okay. You want to get screened for prostate cancer? That's good. But how do you get a negative test? It goes back to your lifestyle, your diet, your nutritional status. Okay. And doctors, all they say when it comes to preventing cervical cancer, they're like, oh, to take the HPV vaccine and get screened. That's it. That's it. No talk of nutrition, no talk of avoiding certain chemicals at all. And I noticed that a lot of women, not all, but a lot of women who get diagnosed with fibroids, they be wearing a lot of makeup. Okay. A lot of makeup, perms, all of that. I definitely think that there's a connection. So I just see that, on the girl's page, like, she would be doing videos and she was always putting so many chemicals on her face. Like, not just makeup, but like, cleansing products on there, just chemicals. And people downplay the seriousness of that. Okay. Also, certain cancers can come from certain emotions and trauma. But it's really, cancer a lot of times is a synergistic thing. It's like, chemicals that you might have been exposed to are mutagens, along with depleted nutrition. Because if you're exposed to certain mutagens, but your microbiome is on point and your vitamin D levels are up and your glutathione and other things like that, your body might be able to handle what you're being exposed to. Okay, so it doesn't cause damage. Some say that cancer is really detoxifying you. Okay, but I won't get deep on that in this video because I'm tired and I'll be talking too long. And I'll save it for another one. And I'm hungry right now. So I'm just going to say myself, when I was in college, this is one thing I want to say. When I was in college, I went to the OBGYN on my campus. And I had a pap smear. I was in 12th, senior year of college. I had a pap smear and it came back abnormal. So they said, they wanted to do a biopsy. I came back to New York to my gynecologist and did it again. I got a pap smear again, came back normal. But the doctor said, oh, we'll just do a biopsy anyway, just to make sure everything's okay. Now, if I knew what I knew now, I wouldn't have done that because biopsies can be invasive. Well, they are invasive. And I remember I got it done. They snipped like a little piece of your like cervix and to be tested. And the doctor told me, oh, you might bleed a little bit for the next few days. I remember for the next year, okay, I would bleed after sex sometimes. I would just bleed sometimes when I wasn't on my cycle. And that wasn't happening before. And weirdly enough, that's actually a sign of of cervical cancer. So it's weird that like my biopsy came back negative that I didn't have it. But it's weird that started to then cause the symptoms that actually are the symptoms of cervical cancer, which people bleed after sex. They'd be bleeding for no reason. Like I wasn't bleeding profusely, but I remember thinking this is not good. I'm like 22 years old and I'm thinking there has to be a way to strengthen this. I remember thinking that to myself. And in 2004, 2005, I discovered the yoni egg, okay, which is also known, back then people called it a jade egg, and nobody was really talking about it like that. And because I understand how muscles work, and I said, oh, it makes sense. Okay, I'm strengthening my vaginal muscles. I didn't have an issue with orgasms or my vaginal muscles not being strong, but I understand muscles and prevention, and so I understood that you strengthen muscles to prevent stuff falling apart in the future, to prevent malfunction. So it made sense to me. So I started working with the eggs. And what I noticed after a year or two of working with it just randomly, that the bleeding had stopped. The random bleeding that I was getting completely went away, never came back to this day. And my my orgasms got way more intense. No, sorry. My orgasms got way more intense. Now, I never had a problem with orgasms to begin with, but they got way more intense where I was like leaving my body, right? And I was like, oh, I have to teach other women about this. And that's when I started teaching my class sensual strength training that I taught constantly from like 2007 to 2014. I can't believe 10 years has gone by and I haven't really been teaching that. And I feel like I'm being called to come back to teaching that. Okay. I am going to come back to teaching that course, online and in person. It's really important. There's a lot I learned. There's a lot that the woman I worked with learned. And it's really important. I feel like the work is really important because a lot of women, doing the work, it's not just about strengthening the vaginal muscles, but it's like understanding vaginal steaming and how to maintain your vaginal microbiome. I didn't bring my probiotics over here with me, but I have probiotics that I take specifically for my vaginal flora microbiome, which is critically important. Okay. And I've understood the importance of protecting my microbiome and my gut, my skin, whatever, since the 90s. It's your first line defense against infectious disease, but also cancers and all kinds of things. And cancer is a genetic disease. That doesn't mean that, oh, you got it from your mother. Okay. That's not what that means. A genetic disease means that your genes are coding for this cancer. And that can happen through something you inherited, or it can happen through something that turned your genes on and off, or something that mutated your genes. They're mutagens, carcinogens. They mutate your genes to code for cancer. And that's where we get the chemicals and all these things that can mutate your genes to code for cancer, okay? And those chemicals work synergistically. So when people are dousing themselves in so many different chemicals, it could be the chemicals in your food, the chemicals in your skin, the chemicals in your makeup, the chemicals in your perfume, the chemicals you're putting on your hair and your scalp, the chemicals in your air. Maybe you have like air freshener and Glade plugins in your house, which a lot of people do, or you got it in your car. All that stuff works synergistically. And, you know, every kind of cancer is on the rise right now. Every kind of cancer is on the rise in younger and younger people, more aggressive forms of it, okay? And I've done a couple of videos on that recently, and cervical cancer is one of them. So cervical cancer can also come, or cervical, uterine, digestive, colon cancers, all on the rise. And it can also come from having your cell phone, keeping your cell phone in your pockets and keeping your cell phones in your laptops in your lap, okay? Can damage a man too, his testes. So these are all things that have to be heavily considered if you want to prevent getting all cancers, okay? Whether it's cervical cancer, uterine cancer, ovarian cancer, any other kind of cancer, you need to keep your vitamin D levels up. Okay, you can check my videos I've done about vitamin D and vitamin A, which really work together. And you don't want to take artificial vitamin D pills, okay, because that's not good. Oh, you say you don't see my super chat? How does that work? Do I have to do something to turn the super chat on? I see engage. I don't go live on YouTube that much, but I see it says engage with your audience, start a Q&A, or start a poll. I don't know how to put the super chat. But if you want to send me something, I can give you my Cash App. I don't know how to do it. I feel like the super chat was up before. I'll go live on, I need to go live on YouTube more. I usually go live on Instagram. Yeah, so then when I was in my first graduate program at Columbia University, it was a master's program in applied physiology and nutrition, okay? So I've taken a lot of biochemistry, all right? And that's when my biochemistry professor, because nutrition students have to take a lot of biochemistry. So I took biochemistry like in undergrad and graduate school. So my nutritional biochemistry professor, he also taught the medical students biochemistry, okay? And so he would tell us what the medical students didn't know, because we pharmacologists, pharmacists, med students, and nutritionists all learn biochemistry, but from different angles, okay? We learn from different angles. I'm so tired right now. I'm like, I'm gonna have to go to sleep. I'm in this video. But we learn it from different angles. Hold on. Yeah, I don't know where the super chat is at. Oh, somebody said, thank you. Kevin said, thank you for your honest insights. Our people are definitely under biological and chemical attack. Your info is always sharp and right and exact. Thank you. You're welcome. Please share it. Are you posting these videos for free? Need to figure out how to get monetized. I don't know, because I'm always getting blocked for stuff I'm saying. All I'll be doing is telling the truth. We're trying to help, you know. But yeah, so my biochemistry professor, I remember he told us, because he taught the medical students, and the medical students, the pharmacologists, and the nutrition students all take biochemistry, but we learn from different angles. And so he knew what the medical students didn't learn. And first of all, when you're a nutrition student, you learn about the signs of nutritional deficiencies and toxicities, okay? Of course, you learn the roles of nutrients in your body, where they're stored in your body, but you learned what does a vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin A, vitamin E toxicity look like and deficiency look like, right? Medical students aren't taught that. So there are things that happen that's really a nutritional deficiency or toxicity, and the doctor doesn't think that because they don't learn that. So my professor, he told us that if a woman goes to the gynecologist on a day that her folate levels are low, okay, folate is a B vitamin that we always get told is so important to reproduction. Folate is necessary for the cellular division, the division of cells, okay? So when our cells divide, the DNA replicates. Folate is critical for that replication of DNA when our cells divide. So if you're depleted in folate, then you can have abnormal cells, okay? Just like women who get pregnant are depleted in folate, they have abnormal babies, right? The cells don't divide properly. So, and one of the best sources of folate is liver, by the way, okay? Liver, not orange juice or spinach, but liver. Okay, so he said to us, if a woman goes to the gynecologist on a day when her folate levels are low and gets a pap smear, she can have an abnormal pap smear. So, and a lot of times because doctors don't know anything about nutritional deficiencies, they don't think that. They just think they see abnormal cells and they automatically think, oh, it's probably cancer. And then they want to give you a biopsy, which is invasive. Excuse me, it's invasive and it can cause issues later in life. So he said that if a woman goes to the gynecologist and has an abnormal pap smear, that really the gynecologist should tell her, okay, go home, put folate in your diet, and come back in like 3 months, 6 months, and let's test again, because it could just be that. Okay, so of course I didn't know that when I went through what I went through. I didn't have cervical cancer, thankfully, and I never had another abnormal pap smear again. But when he told me this, he talked about how his daughter was freaking out because she had an abnormal pap smear. And a lot of times women get scared about it and they're thinking, oh my God, I have cancer. And that's the only thing the doctors think about. And so I learned that 20 years ago, and so to me, when I think of anybody having any kind of cancer, I think about their nutrition. Okay. Because a lot of people, if you follow my work, you know that a lot of people, they think healthy eating is drinking green juice and eating salad and low fat meat and all this other stuff. And it's not. Okay. So I think about nutrition. Okay. Where the nutrition stores at, where's the microbiome at? Are they taking probiotics? Are they eating fermented foods? Have they been taking a lot of antibiotics? What kind of chemicals are they using? What kind of chemicals are they using vaginally? What kind of chemicals are they using on their skin? All of that. All that comes together with our genetics. Okay. Some people can do all those things and not get cancer. Some people could do all those things and get cancer. That's where your genes comes into play. It's what happens to our health. It's our environment and genes interacting with each other. Our environment affects our genes. Our genes can be turned on, our genes can be turned off, and our genes can be mutated. Okay? So please understand that. But it's just really disturbing because the woman, she had like a 4-year-old, I think. She gave birth to a child 4 years ago. And it's like, then I think she found out last year she had cervical cancer, and stage 3. By that point, they say that there's a very small chance that you'll survive it. And endometrial cancer and all that used to be something that happened in older women, and now it's happening in younger and younger women. So I'm just going to say, for prevention, I would say, ladies, do vaginal steams. I did a video years ago, I don't know, maybe a decade ago now, on vaginal steaming, okay, which I learned from the Mesoamerican tradition. It's called bajos, where you're taking herbs in a pot and you're steaming. That's a very good way to get herbal medicine into, the cervix and into the womb. Taking things like garlic, ginger, rosemary, oregano, thyme, roses, lavender. There's a lot of different herbs depending on what you're using it for. It could be eucalyptus, mugwort, motherwort. You can do different herbal blends. And you know what? I planned on selling some vaginal stem blends. Some years ago, I bought a bunch of herbs to make and sell, but selling things be stressing me out. So I just use them for myself, and I would do vaginal steams every so often, just for prevention, just to maintain the vaginal health, right? Vaginal steams can be used for, and if a woman has a womb issue, if you have fibroids, if you have cysts, you definitely want to be doing vaginal steams along with castor oil packs. You want to keep, you want your diet to be right, avoiding sugars, making sure your vitamin D levels are up, your vitamin A levels are up, your good bacteria is up. Don't be putting cell phones in your pockets and here, and don't have your cell phone sitting on your lap. Okay. That also sending all of that right to your sexual organs in your womb. Yeah, most of the things in our homes are plastic. And then, the vaginal tissue being so absorbent, you have women that having sex with condoms for years, had the chemicals on the condoms, the lubricants, the spermicides, all of that destroying her microbiome, all of that being absorbed into her. Then you got some women who use tampons. I hate tampons, but some women are putting tampons inside them that might have chemicals, and or even if not tampons, sanitary napkins that are full of chemicals, and there's scented pads and all other stuff that are covered with chemicals that you're just absorbing. And so people, and then a lacking diet. But people keep talking about HPV, and I don't have. I'm going to do a video about the HPV vaccine. I'm going to do a separate video about that. I can't get too much into that now because I'm hungry and I'm tired. But there are many issues with the HPV vaccine, and actually it's given to men too, because HPV can lead to penile cancer. I'm going to do a whole, maybe tomorrow or day after, because I'm trying to balance it with my schoolwork and work, and my ass is just tired. I can barely think right now, but I felt like I had to do this video. The HPV vaccine has damaged many people. Oops. The HPV vaccine has damaged many people, and HPV is totally preventable. It's curable. It can be killed. But all the jabs, I've done videos in the past on the problems with them. All of them are full of toxins. Ugh. Everybody keeps calling me. Sorry. All of them are full of toxins. And some cancers can come from certain HPV strains. There are hundreds. There's like 2 or 3 of them that could lead to cancer. And not just vaginal cancers, but also colon cancer and stuff like that. But what was I going to say? I'm tired. I'm sorry. I need to go to sleep. Sometimes, yeah, some cancers can come from that, but that's not the only source of. The only source of cervical cancer is not just the HPV vaccine. And doctors, if you let them tell it, they'll act like, oh, it's just HPV. Just take the vaccine and get screened. Just take the vaccine and get screened. No, you have to do more than that. Okay. You have to be conscious of the chemicals that you are breathing in, that's in your home, in your environment, on your skin, and in your pants. Okay. And all up in your vaginal tissues. You have to be, you have to have practices in place to be conscious of taking care of your womb, whether that is working on dealing with trauma. A lot of women have womb trauma from a variety of things that we're holding on to. You have to find ways to let go of that. And that's one of the things that I taught in my central strength training class, because that can also exacerbate things, holding on to that trauma, exacerbate things or get it started. Making sure your nutrient stores are up to par. So I'm tired. I feel like there's something that I probably meant to say that I didn't, but I'm going to end this here, and whatever I didn't say, I'll do in my next video. because I could go way more into depth, but I'm about to go lay down and pass out. I'm tired. I was up all night being a science nerd doing schoolwork. But I just found it highly disturbing, and I had to just say some things. If you have any questions for me, put it below. Please share the video. And I'm sure when I end this, I'm going to think of a bunch of things that I meant to say. I want to do a video about HPV. I'm going to do a video about HPV, the vaccine, how it affects men, how it affects women, yeah. But to be continued. I'm super sleepy, tired, and hungry. It's really hitting me. I have to have energy to talk to the camera. It pulls out my energy. But if you learned something from this video, please like it. Please share it. The cervical cancer rates are out of control in sub-Saharan Africa. The rates are becoming more and more common. More and more. The rates are increasing. Okay, and it's happening in younger women and more aggressive, and a lot of women are dying. So you definitely do want to go to the doctor and get your pap smears, okay? But you also want to make sure that your nutrients are right, because like I said, if you go to the GYN on the day that your folate is low, you can get an abnormal pap smear. And then that could lead you to unnecessary biopsies, okay? So uterine health and womb health has also everything to do with your diet, okay? It all comes full circle. All right? So yeah, I'm really about to pass out. For sure, I look tired. So yeah, please share the video if you learned something. I need to figure out how to get the super chat on. I don't do YouTube lives enough, but I need to figure out how to get that working. And thank you guys for listening. If you're on YouTube, be sure to follow me on Instagram, because I don't post everything. There's things I post on Instagram that I don't post on YouTube. So if you're on YouTube, follow me on Instagram, okay? At The Body Scientist, _body_scientist, The Body Scientist. And if you're on Instagram, follow me on YouTube at The Body Scientist 81. And take care of yourselves, people, no matter what. Take care of yourselves, because life is precious. There's a lot of men and women dying too young, dropping like flies. A lot of people take their health for granted until something happens. So, don't take your health for granted. Get on it. You can learn a lot from watching my videos. I'm always here to work with people one-on-one as well. So if you're ever interested in personal coaching, you can always email me at thebodyscientist81@gmail.com. And I'm gonna call it an afternoon. All right. Thank you guys for listening. Take care. If you have any stories you want to share, cervical cancer or anything, please share it, and I'll see you in the next video. Okay. Bye.